Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. Today, I'm talking about architecting an 8-figure brand. So right now, as I'm recording this, it's summer, and there's a couple different things going on right now that I'm seeing. A lot of businesses have slowed down quite a bit. Some of them, it's intentional because it's summertime. Others, it's unintentional and they're really worried going into the fall and into the rest of the year. I've heard from so many people that this is the slowest that their business has been. Now, on the flip side, I also have many clients where this is the busiest that their business has been. I know for me personally, I'm very much in a busy period right now. And that is by design as I'm launching the new brand in Lean Out Method. And that's why I thought this was a really good time for this episode, because as I shared, A, some businesses are slowing down, but B, it is summer. And there's something about the summer, whether it's a busy season for you or whether it's a quiet season for you, is we're outside more. We tend to be more social. We tend to do things that break up our regular routine a lot. And as a result, we are sometimes much more creative. We're much more strategic. We can see possibility where sometimes we just kind of see chaos and complexity. We can see simplicity, and being in that type of environment where we're not at our desk quite as much, or where our general routine is disrupted a bit. Sometimes we can get really real with ourselves about what we actually want and what we don't want. And with so many businesses in this really weird place where things are slower and they're not quite sure if it's going to pick up, it's also a really good time to take a step back and intentionally think about, what do you want to take forward? What don't you want to take forward? And I want to share something with you that I've done, something that I'm doing now, something that I'm going to continue doing over the years. And I'm excited to take you along on this journey with me. But I wanted to share a little bit about what I'm doing in Lean Out Method and hope it inspires you to do the same type of exercise in your business, even though it may turn out in a very different way than the way I'm approaching it. So if you're a regular listener of the show, you know that I am launching a new division called Strategic Ops Institute. It's actually an entire new brand, and I am so incredibly excited for this. I've talked about it a bit on prior episodes and shared a little bit about what it is and who it's for. And this is, believe it or not, my 8th business that I have launched. I was doing the math and looking back at everything that I've done over these past few decades. And I can't believe that this is business number 8. And the beautiful thing about that is I feel like I have learned so many lessons. Some of them have been incredible. One of those businesses I took from an idea to a multi-6-figure contract in under 10 days, right? That was probably my most successful business, which not accidentally, it's the business that's most similar to the new business, to Strategic Ops Institute. And I've had other businesses that were a huge amount of work and that felt like pushing a giant boulder up a mountain in order to get the business profitable and turn the business successful. So I've learned a lot over these past few decades, and that's just in my own business. Of course, during that time, I've been consulting with other businesses, everything from the largest, most successful Fortune 10 companies in the world to small online businesses, product-based businesses, brick and mortar businesses, you name it. There's not too many different types of businesses that I have not either run or personally worked with, consulted, and advised over the years. So I have this unique vantage point of what works, what doesn't, what's coming, what's not coming, what's going to work, and what's not going to work going into the future. And of course, I can't know that for certain because none of us can, but I've been at this game for quite a while here. And because of that, I feel like I have a pretty good idea what's going on and what's coming. And time will tell if I'm right or not, but I'm making a bet. And in business, I think what we do is we make a lot of bets. And as our bets get a whole lot better and a whole lot more educated, we get better results. We change from things being based on kind of pure hope and dream and wish to things being based on probability and likelihood and predictability. And the new business is very much focused on that. But here's how I approached this business. I saw a huge gap in the market. Not only did I see a current gap in the market, but I'm seeing that it is a gap that is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. So the need for what I'm doing is going to grow and continue to grow over time. What I am doing is also something that people right now are actually investing money in. The way people are buying has shifted. Buying patterns have shifted. Buying cycles have elongated. But there are certain things that people are more likely to buy in an economic climate like this than they were maybe a few years ago. And so I'm very much tapping into that as well. But the thing is, even if none of that were true, I still would have launched this business because it is the next evolution of my work. It is a personal passion of mine. It is my unique superpower, and it is the thing that I'm feeling internally driven to do next. So the fact that there's a market for it, the fact that that market is going to continue to grow over time, all of those things were definitely strategic factors at play, but they weren't the ultimate decision point for me to move forward with this. But what I did differently with this business, and what I'm so excited to see how it unfolds and excited to bring you along with me over the next few years as I'm launching the brand and then growing the brand and then scaling the brand, is I am architecting this business to be an 8-figure business. Most of my businesses in the past, I did not architect that way. My early businesses, all I could see was a 6-figure business. That felt like so much money to me at the time. And then I got there and really quickly realized I don't want a 6-figure business. I want a 7-figure business. And so then I started architecting 7-figure businesses. Now I'm at the point that I'm architecting an 8-figure business. And it's so different from going into something saying, I'm going to do this because I love it. I'm going to do this because I think there's a market for it, or I know there's a market for it because I've done my research and I think it's going to be successful and I hope it works out. And I think that's how so many of us go into business, especially those of us who are very passion fueled. We love what we do. We'd probably do what we do even if we weren't getting paid, but we very much want to make good revenue, good profit off of what we're doing. And so we put it out there and we get started and we kind of do we'll see how successful it can be. I feel like it can be successful. I think it can be successful. I hope it will be successful. Sometimes there's even some math that was done behind the scenes where you feel like you can pretty confidently say it's going to be successful. But we very rarely actually architect the business we want from day one. We typically just put it out there and get going and then evolve it over time. And something you hear me talk about a lot is I'm a big believer in starting with the end in mind and reverse engineering your results. And so that's what I'm doing with this business is I am starting with the end in mind. I know the scope and the scale of the type of business that I want to have. And it's actually not about the dollar figure. It's about the level of impact that I want to make. I want to completely transform the way people think about operations. I want to completely transform operational leaders in the way they think about their roles and the way they think about what they're capable of and what their role is in the businesses that they support. Because we need a change. It's time for a change. And the most successful people are naturally doing this and don't even recognize that they're doing it sometimes. And so when I look at the mission behind the business, the vision behind the business, the impact that I want to make, an 8-figure business, that gets me that impact. that allows me the level of change and transformation in the industry that I am going after. And so the thought exercise that I think would be so valuable for you to do right now, especially in the summer, especially if you're in a place where you are maybe open to things that you wouldn't be open to normally because maybe you're away from your computer, or maybe things aren't working in the way that they used to. So you know you need to reimagine things. What if instead of just thinking about the next thing you could sell, or the next launch you could do, or the next step, what if you fast forward? You think about the scope of the impact that you want to make. You think about the size and scale of the business that you want. You think about the revenue target ultimately that you want, your longer term vision, not your near term vision. And what if you reverse engineered that business today? What would it look like? Now, just because I'm doing this, it does not mean I'm going to have an 8-figure business tomorrow. It's going to take me a long time to build an 8-figure business, and I recognize that. Based on the way I have things laid out, I will go from 0 to 7 figures in about 3 years. I always set 3 targets, base target, stretch. My target is 7 figures in 3 years. My stretch is 2 years. It'll probably be somewhere in the middle there, but I feel really confident that I will take the new brand to 7 figures within 3 years. I don't know yet how long it will take me to take it to 8, because while I've built many 6-figure businesses, many 7-figure businesses, I have not yet built an 8-figure business. I have scaled many of them, but I have not built one. And so I'm excited for the journey of building an 8-figure business. And the thing that I'm really noticing is how differently I'm thinking about what I'm doing in this business, knowing that's where I want to take it. Ironically, I'm actually starting slower than I normally would. I'm building this right. And I feel fortunate that I have the luxury to do that because I have Lean Out Method, and my schedule is very busy right now. And I'm in a place where I can do that. But I am putting an 8-figure foundation in place. And I'm approaching the launch with a lot of intentionality. And I'm thinking about the way I want to grow the business with a lot of intentionality. And as I'm doing this, I'm also taking a fresh look at Lean Out Method. If you go to the website, you'll notice changes. You'll notice more self-implement systems and self-paced programs. And that's because as I'm getting ready to wrap up my current cohorts of Simplify to Scale in the beginning of fall. So let's say your ultimate target for your business is $3 million. That's the size and scale of business that you want. That's the size and scale of impact that you really want to make with your brand. If you were building that business from scratch today, forget what you currently have, forget your current commitments, forget your current programs and offers, forget your current branding and website, your current socials, forget everything that currently exists today. If you are building a $3 million business today in the scope and scale that you want, in the level of impact that you want, and if you knew that whatever you put out there would be successful and you would hit those targets, what would you do? What would that business look like? Where would you spend your time? Who would you work with and how would you work with them? Start with the end in mind and start in a place of possibility, and anything goes and anything can be successful. And then once you get a good vision for what that looks like, then start to ground it in the practicals. Start to compare it with what you have today and start to look at how you can build that bridge between what you have today and that business that you want in the future. Because I know a lot of people that I talk to are really scared right now for their business and they're not sure what to expect for the rest of the year. And I hope that's not you. I hope your business is one of the ones that's thriving. But if you're in that really weird place that a lot of businesses are in right now, I know it can be so overwhelming. I know it can be so scary, but there is also a silver lining in it. And it doesn't always feel like it when we're in the worst of it, in the most stressful place of it. But if we can take a step back and look objectively at it, it gives us the opportunity to make decisions in the business that we might not allow ourselves to make otherwise. When nothing feels like it's working, that means you have the freedom of choice to change all of the things. You could throw out entire social channels. You could throw out entire offers. You could completely reimagine branding. You could shift who you work with. You could shift your offers. You could shift how you deliver your offers. One of the things that can either lead people to burnout or lead people to really resenting the business that they have is when that business is misaligned. It no longer is aligned with what they want to be doing, where they want to be spending their time, or who they want to be spending their time with. And sometimes when we get there, we feel trapped by the business we have. We want to do something different. We feel like we should be doing something different. We may really deeply want to be doing something different, but we've got current clients and current commitments and current things that we've said we were going to do or that we're in the middle of doing and delivering. And it feels like we can't step away from them. And something I've talked about on the podcast in the past as well is what you don't want to do in that scenario is burn your bridges, burn everything to the ground, and completely start over. That's where the bridge comes in. The bridge between what you have today and what you want next. And that's super important, is to build that bridge. But you can't build a bridge to where you want to go tomorrow if you do not give yourself the space and the permission to think about what you actually want tomorrow, even if it is very different from what you have today. Now, maybe it's only a 5-degree shift, but maybe it's a 95-degree shift. And it doesn't matter what kind of shift you want to make. If you know you want to make it, set the vision for what that looks like, and then look at how you can get there. Start to take small steps now that are going to take you there. I had considered doing the new division under the Lean Out Method umbrella, and I actually did its own website, its own brand, its own everything. And there's multiple reasons why I did that. A, it's a different target market. It's the operational leaders and the right hands to the founder as opposed to the founders, which is who I serve in Lean Out Method. But I also wanted the freedom to build it however I wanted without any of the constraints of today. If I put it on the Lean Out Method website, which I easily could have done, the reality is what I'm selling in Strategic Ops Institute, I've actually sold for years and years in Lean Out Method. I'm just carving it out into its own thing. So I could have put it on the Lean Out Method website and not gone through doing an entire new brand. But I did not want the weight of anything existing. There was something about the space to build a $10 million business from scratch and to envision what that would look like and to think through the different ways I could lead the transformation that I want to lead. It was very freeing. And in doing so, it actually had me reimagining and rethinking some of the things in Lean Out Method as well. So this is just a small behind the scenes of what I've got going on up in here, but I wanted to share it with you again because I do think this is a unique time and opportunity to really give yourself the space to think about what you want, to start with the end in mind, and to build the brand, build the business, build the incredible impact that you want without settling for what you have today, if what you have today is not what you really want. And if you want any help building the bridge, setting the vision, figuring out how to make it a reality, just go ahead and put some time on my calendar. It's leanoutmethod.com/consult. My 2-hour strategy sessions are perfect for this. You can go to leanoutmethod.com/FIFO, FIFO. It stands for figure at the F out. And we can spend 2 hours together deep diving into your beautiful big, bold vision and look at how we can transition from what you have today to what you want tomorrow in a way that sets you up for both short-term and long-term success, especially as we go into the rest of this year. I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. I will see you again next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. If you have not yet taken our scalability assessment, I invite you to head to leanoutmethod.com/assessment and take our interactive assessment that's going to help you look at how simple, how sustainable, and how scalable your business currently is. It includes personalized recommendations of where to focus next to get your time back, to increase your impact, increase your profits, and ultimately step into your rich, fulfilled life. And finally, we'd love to see you inside our signature program, Simplify to Scale. You can head to leanoutmethod.com/ops to find all of the details on how we can help you up-level your operations and get out of the day-to-day of your business.